So my brothers and I were sharing some workout data. My brother Mark has been on a running kick lately, so he's sharing his Nike Run information. I decided to look back at my daily walk data because I think earlier this year, maybe in August, I believe, we started a challenge called the Daily Mile. And all I proposed to everyone was just get a mile each day, and you can break it up however you want. If you do more, great. But the goal is to build some consistency on getting some mileage in during the week. You can walk, run, use a rucksack, weight vest, sprint, change the direction, pretty much anything. You can just, even playing sport. It makes it easier to track if you have some type of Apple Watch. So anyway, I looked back on my Apple Watch data. I'll share it here. And what I noticed, which was kind of cool, is most of my walks, at least the first month, were probably averaging a mile and a half. By the second month, I was averaging about 2 miles a day, which between a walk or run might take me anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the speed at which I'm going and how leisurely I'm taking it. Most of my walks were pretty leisurely, and occasionally I'd sprint. I had some sprints in there or like a run, walk. Anyway, you can see the total calories burned over the course of that month with just a pretty low effort exercise was between 4,800 to like a little over 5,000 calories, which is interesting to see because I have been eating at maintenance, I'd say, maybe even a little bit above. And my training volume in the gym has been lower, but the walking has really stacked up. So even if I ate at maintenance for the entire month, most people are eating at maintenance or slightly above maintenance, 5,000 calories stacks up to about 1.5 pounds a month lost. So if you're just eating at maintenance and staying consistent with some type of walk, it'll stack up. Most people are in a position where they're slowly gaining about maybe 1/4 pound a month over the course of the year by not paying attention. And how do we create a system where we're slowly losing 1/4 pound, 1/2 pound a month over the course of the year, right? Without much effort. So little things like that really stack up. And the key, I think, is really the consistency. You can look at the daily mile. For me, it was only maybe anywhere from 150 to 200 calories in total, which doesn't seem like it's going to move the needle much. It's the time and the consistency and stacking that day after day, getting 24 to 31 of those days a month really adds up over time. So at the time of making this video, I am now at day 86 of the daily mile. And I want to share some of my best practices and tips on how this kind of played out along the way. When I first started, it was exactly a mile, right? I do a loop around the block. What I was really trying to do is build consistency over intensity. My brain is saying, hey, you should start a running routine, a sprinting routine. And my body was also not quite adapted to something like that because I don't really do it all that often. For years, to be honest with you, I haven't been sprinting or running. So we want to reacclimate all of those joints and tendons to that kind of stuff. So the key is I just started with a daily walking routine. We were kind of doing it once or twice a week. You know, my family and I would go on maybe a 2 or 3 mile walk. So we had like a mini base to it, but it wasn't a consistent daily thing. So the first step was creating a consistency. It might take me 15, 20 minutes, something to that effect. At some point in time, you get bored with it, right? So you start leveling up. So what I did was I added a weight vest. Pretty low effort, doing the same thing, just adds like maybe 10 more beats per minute, something like that, which stacks up. At some point, I started doing a little jog, a little run walk. So then I can build up some of those, you know, like ankles and knees and that kind of thing. I think at some point I did overdo it a little bit. Knees started hurting because I was doing that along with all my strength training. So I've learned my load tolerance. I had to scale back a little bit. I also added in some change of direction drills. So I'd go out on a run and bring my lacrosse stick with me and then, you know, pretend like I'm dodging and stuff. So it just broke things up a little bit. But it wasn't like set on, hey, I got to like set this PR on a sprint every day or a mile run. Sometimes I would do a mile. Sometimes I would do a walk. Sometimes I would do some backwards walking. Sometimes I'd do some change of direction. Sometimes I'd go down to the school and just accumulate more field stride runs or sprints. So it just kind of started evolving each day. And that was cool too, because I could just base it on the day. I know I was going to go out and get a mile every day. What I did was entirely dependent on my stress, sleep, motivation, or whatever. But I just knew the base habit is going to be that I do the mile. Again, never missing twice. The other thing, my family and I did a lot of walks together. Bonnie and I would catch up on our day. We go for a mile, 2 mile walk and catch up on various things like work and life kind of thing. Plan out our lives a little bit. We take my son out a bunch of times. We'd go out at night because I got into a routine where my only time I could really go was later at night, which I don't recommend, but that's one of the reasons why I'm actually going out right now. When you do it in the beginning of the day or middle of the day, you're going to get the benefits for the rest of the day. The stress levels are down. You've got that thing off your plate that's kind of like lingering, like you know you need to do. And then again, you get those endorphins. I think everything is just easier to handle when you get a little bit of the hard stuff or the exercise done first. Take care of yourself first, then you can take care of everyone else. So if you have the ability to get it done early in the day, highly recommend it. But I got into this habit of doing it at night because even then it's imperfect, but I got to get it done. So I would take my son out at night. We'd be going in the dark. We'd listen to some music together. I'd put him in the stroller and we would look for coyotes. So we'd go on an adventure every night, him and we're scouting the neighborhood to see if we can find any coyotes. Most of the time we didn't, but it was fun. Every once in a while we'd find something. It was an opportunity for my son and I to bond, talk a little bit, listen to some music. He would find some tunes that he liked. Every once in a while, I would sprint with the stroller and push him really fast. He enjoyed that quite a bit. But it ended up turning into a 30-minute bonding period where we go out. Maybe we started getting 2 miles at that point in time. Sometimes I'd go with the weight vest. Sometimes I would go without it. We'd get it sometimes in the rain, which was fun. Sometimes we'd do it when it was nice out. At some point, he wanted to pop out of the stroller and he wanted to walk it and run with me. So that was kind of cool too, because he's modeling the behavior of someone that is active, right? He wants to be active as well. He wants to share in that. So overall, a very simple idea like this daily mile has had really profound effects on my life. From a family standpoint, just a low-level exercise. Like I said, everything that I do is trying to build systems where I can check multiple boxes at once. And this is an easy one. You can go out, listen to a podcast, audiobook, just have some time to yourself for some mental clarity is nice. I'm actually making a video on this walk right now, which is one of the things that I wanted to do today. I got to get a video done. I want to create something that is useful for people and I have to get my walk in. So might as well combine it together. So anyway, I hope this is useful for all of you and keep building some systems in your life. Share them with others in the comments and then we can all tackle a lot of cool stuff together.